Mr. Bridson, welcome.
Hey Mark, how are you?
Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. I look forward to this.
How long you been with us now? Going on.
I started in. Just trying to remember. Yeah, it's probably been just over 2 years. I know it was. I think it was April 1st was when I officially made the move over.
Yeah,
April
I remember. 'Cause I was waiting for you to say joke.
I think it was 2021, I believe. Yeah, because you guys were already in the
right.
market. You
Yeah,
guys
we
were
were
already
about
in
a
the market.
year in, and
Yeah.
And so what made you reach out to us?
Yeah, well, actually, you guys reached out to me.
Oh, did okay?
And I took one of those. I took one of those phone calls, which typically you get those phone calls a lot. And at that time, I was kind of like I was really curious about Berkshire Hathaway and them coming into the marketplace and what that looked like. So yeah, I had a casual conversation with Christine, and it's sort of one thing sort of led to the next. And I was always looking for that business, that company, that brokerage that could elevate my brand. I was looking to elevate my brand from my previous brokerage, and I always found myself like sort of trying to, identify myself differently from what they were doing. So when in doing that, I was looking, like I said, to elevate that brand. And Berkshire, new to the Canadian market. Let me listen to this. Let me hear what's going on. And yeah, it's been incredible ever since.
It's funny. A lot of people are in the same boat. Like a lot of people are scared to make that move, right? And not knowing what that transition is going to be like, and what it's going to do to their business. They're doing well, and if it's not fixed, if it's not broken, let's not fix it.
Right.
So talk to me about the transition, like the transition process, how you navigated it, how we helped you navigate it, and then. Oh, actually, no. I got a treat for you.
What do we got here?
Someone told me that you're obsessed with freezies, but you're not allowed to eat them at home. Your wife won't let you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not actually allowed. So hopefully my wife doesn't see this red. This is a good one.
Don't tell her.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, he's gonna cut it out. He has to eat it. She's not allowed to take it home with him. Thanks, Andy.
How did you guys hear about this?
I know everything. I know other things too.
Do you want to hear about the?
Couldn't talk about them on the podcast.
Do you want to hear about the story about the freezies?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, my.
I heard you hide them in the garage.
Yeah, I had them. I had them hidden in the garage, and my wife came out, and it literally seemed like I thought that she was so mad at me. It felt like I cheated on her. Like she was like, I can't believe you've been doing this the whole time, and you have freezies stashed away. It's just super.
You're all thrown in the garbage.
Thanks.
What's the deal?
Sorry, babe.
What's the deal with the freezies? Is it nostalgic for you? Is it?
Yeah, you know what? Like, oh, so good. When I was young, my parents would always have a box. Like in the summer, they'd stash them away in the basement freezer, and both my parents worked full-time jobs, so a lot of times we babysat ourselves. Like once we got to the right age, so there was always freezies in the basement.
It's an easy lunch.
It's a delicious lunch. Yeah, absolutely.
There's a ton of nutrition. Right?
It's funny now that I look at it now. There's 16 grams of sugar in here, which is fucking insane.
Like it's half a Mars bar.
Yeah, it's wild.
And
Thank you.
And your wife doesn't like them. She doesn't have the same appreciation.
No, she definitely does not. She almost kicked me out of the house when she found them in the freezer.
That's awesome. Okay, so back to the transition. How did that transition look for you, and how did it affect your business?
Yeah. So I guess I had built a team. I had started to build a team at my last brokerage, and I thought if I could take everything that I was doing at the previous brokerage in terms of, because we're pretty heavy on lead generation. We have ISAs in the past that have been making phone calls for us. So we're really big on, providing that value to our clients or to our leads, and then eventually we close them. So I was figuring if I can take that foundation that we have, and I can, bring it to a bigger, better brand, then I felt like I could elevate, and that we could really exponentially grow quickly. But the other piece, the reason why I joined Berkshire too, is I've been following you guys since the Blue Elephant days, and the marketing that you guys provide, which was second to none. I mean, you guys did an amazing job marketing. So I figured, and I used to I know I've told you this before, but we used to knock off some of your brochures.
Duncan and Andrew on here a few weeks ago, and they were talking about how they used to knock our stuff off as well.
Yeah,
it's so funny.
So we would knock off some of your stuff, and I remember actually the first time that you came by the office, I had to actually hide our buyer's guide from you. Because I was like, oh shit, he can't see these. But yeah,
we take it as a compliment.
Yeah,
totally. We appreciate that.
Yeah. So that's really, I was looking for the elevated brand, and I was looking for that marketing piece and someone that could help us, deliver that amazing marketing that you guys do. And, listening to Christine, listening to the offer, I just felt like the timing was right. It felt like, I saw the value with you guys, and it was just a matter of, talking to my team and then transitioning over and, made the phone call to my previous broker and said, thank you very much, but we're going to move on.
And how did the conversations go with your team?
They were, they were excited. They were excited. They weren't like, there was some people that ended up staying, and there was, I would say 2 or 3 stayed at the previous brokerage, and 5 or 6 of them came with me. Mm-hmm. They saw the value, and those were agents that had been with me and do a good, yearly business. It's a career for them. Whereas the other ones were, I think they were more concerned about, I guess it came down to dollars and cents with them, right?
Like having the foresight to see the upside.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what talking about your team then and building out your team, what kind of agents make up your team, or what are you looking for in an agent when you're interviewing them for your team?
Yeah. Number one, they have to fit in with the team from a culture standpoint. And probably bigger than that is, are you a hustler? Mm-hmm. Are you coming into this business to figure out how it works, and to actually do transactions? There's a lot of agents that, they get their license, they join a brokerage, and I understand, you're learning a lot. You need to take everything in, you need to understand, but this is not easy. And everyone, I watch a lot of realtor podcasts and see them on reels and on social media and all that. They always talk about how competitive it is, and it is. There's 70,000 agents. Every brother, uncle, nephew is an agent. Mm-hmm. So how do you set yourself apart? And that's something that we really try to focus on, how we can bring value to our clients. And I think a lot of it is through education, right? Educating them. So they're watching you, they're seeing what you're doing on your social media. We're bringing value and education to them. And then eventually they transact. It might not be with you, but they see the value in a lot of times. And that's why I would probably say 40% of our business is done through cold call, or lead generation, leads that we get through various means. I would say 40% of our business is done through that. So these are people that we don't know. We have no connection with them, but they're seeing the value through our emails, text messages, social media.
What does that look like? What is that value? How do you connect with these people? How do you resonate with them so that they're thinking about you when they're ready to transact?
Yeah, gone I think are the days of that hard sell, where you're on the phone and you're just pounding that phone call, that text message. I think it's more of here's some information. You're asking for some information. Here's the information. We're going to provide it to you, and then we're just going to, let you look at it, digest it, and then say, if you need any help in the future or you have any questions, just reach out to us. And sometimes right away they call us or text us and they want to talk. Sometimes it's 6 months down the road, but a lot of times it's 2, 3, 4 years down the road. And we have, in our CRM system, we probably have 15,000 people that are in our CRM. And I would say the majority of them transact after a year to 2 years. That's the majority of them. Those leads will transact, and it's because they're watching our content.
We've had people surface after years.
Years.
I think we launched, officially using our CRM back in 2014, 2013, late 2013, and we've had people transact in the last 2 years from that original database.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. It's a slow play. It's the biggest transaction that someone's going to make in their life, right? So it takes time, right? And I think a lot of the agents that sort of see, you know, the glitz and glam of that, they don't really understand how long this process can take. We do have people that transact right away and they get lucky. We obviously, like at our brokerage, we have a ton of mentorship. We show people like how to actually physically talk to someone on the phone and what to talk about and the cadence of what that looks like. That's some of the value that we bring at my office specifically is that one-on-one sort of mentorship or that team aspect, right? Like today we had a phone call at 11:11, which I ended up missing. I'm sorry. But every Tuesday at 11:11, we do a team phone call and we just go around. We talk about what we're seeing in the marketplace. We talk about, you know, listings that are coming out, buyers that we're working with, things that we're seeing, and how to, you know, handle objections, how to handle the current market. I mean, this market right now is tough, and I can see it across the board. And I was talking to a fellow client or a fellow realtor of mine, and she was saying that this is in her 18 years in the business, that this is the toughest market that she's been in.
For sure.
Which is, I've been in the industry for 7 years.
You've been on a good roll here. Like,
yeah.
I moved to Toronto in 2000.
Right.
And I bought my first condo in 2001. And since then, it's just been a steady climb.
2001.
We had a few like plateaus. We had a few, some minor pullbacks.
Yeah.
You know, 2008 was a big slow up, but nothing like the experience south of the border.
Right.
This is our 2008 for the most part, right?
Yeah.
We haven't seen the price decline to that extent,
right?
But from a volume perspective, we're actually in line with 2008 south of the border.
Yeah.
Right. The drop in volume.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah. So it's tough to navigate.
So interesting. Like prices are going down, but the supply is just not there. You know what I mean? Like so, and there's all of these. I mean, you see the rental prices just continue. I saw something today. It was a 1+1, 650 square foot condo downtown Toronto. It was listed at $2,900. The landlord took it off the market because they were getting so much attention on it. They took it off the market, relisted it for $32,000, and they ended up getting $3,300.
Come on.
For a 1+1, $3,300. Like,
come on,
it's mind blowing.
600 square feet.
Yeah, 600 square feet. And there wasn't. It was. You know, some people are going to say
it's very like, you know. From an investment standpoint, it sounds great.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's hard to make, you know, things cash flow these days.
Yeah, it is.
But disenchanting from anybody wanting to get into the rental market or what's to come in the resale market as well. Right?
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
we all know we're in a little bit of a blip right now, but there's still huge demand. There's only more demand coming because of the Liberals' policies on immigration. So
I don't know.
We're in a bit of a blip now, but
it's going to be interesting.
You're going to see that translate back to the sale market as well.
Yeah, talking about cash flow. So the first house that I bought was a semi-detached in Toronto, in the Bloordale area. And it's a 2.5 stories. So we bought that house. It was listed at like, I want to say 570, which is wild because now I'm working with clients that are trying to get into the market and 570 isn't even enough for a 1-bedroom. And the cash flow on that was, I think it was around $1,500 a month on top. So we were paying our mortgage, our utilities, everything. We were still cash flowing $1,500 on top. And now you can't find that. There's nothing, not even if you go in the outskirts, you know, to the peripheral areas, there's nothing out there that will cash flow that kind of. So it's very interesting.
It's funny. I think back to 2000 when I was buying that first condo. It was in District Lofts. I think it was actually 2001. It was in District Lofts, right at Richmond and Spadina.
Yeah.
I remember my condo was like a 2-story, 1,100 square foot place, and
beautiful.
I was buying it for about $4 in northeast corner, full view of the city.
Yeah.
Like even the bathroom had a massive window. Like,
wow.
Like 2 of these put together.
Yeah.
And I was paying $400 for it, which was way more than I could afford at the time. I was totally stretching myself. But I remember looking at homes just as another option.
Yeah.
Over on Bellwoods.
Oh yeah. Okay.
For $500, and I was like, $500,000. That's crazy. And like, should I stretch myself the extra $100,000 to get into some soil?
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I'm already overstretched. So jumped into the condo. But Bellwoods, those beautiful homes over there, for $500,000 at the time.
Yeah.
Right.
It's wild.
It's a different time.
It totally is.
So tell me about your team and the value. So when you're looking for agents, are you bringing on new agents into the business?
Yeah, we bring new agents into our branch office, but not necessarily onto the team. So we look at it as you're going to play for the Marlies. You're going to come into the office. You're still going to get the same benefits of the lead generation. We have a full studio in our office. So a lot of our team members and agents will utilize the studio for social media purposes. I think that's the best way to really touch a lot of your leads and clients nowadays.
Video is so important right now.
So important. That's why we're doing this right now. So they can still utilize all of the what we have, but the team, the benefit of joining the team is that you are going to get the best leads, the best leads that come through our system, but you're also going to get and those leads generally are through like listings like realtor.ca. We'll have leads come through there where someone really wants to see a place. So that's sort of the benefit of joining the team, but also the team atmosphere and learning. And we do, like I was talking about, we do those 11:11 on Tuesdays. We do those phone calls.
What's the significance of the 11:11?
Yeah, we were just trying to figure out a time that and what would stick. So the 11:11 was just something that people could remember, and some realtors don't get up too early in the morning either. So it was just a good time right before lunch. So you have that. We do that. We do that. Those team calls. You have that one-on-one mentoring, and that's something that I provide specifically. Or we have other agents, more senior agents on our team that provide that mentorship. Go out on listing appointments just to shadow. Go out on working with a buyer just to shadow. We also have our in-house staff that helps you through transactions in terms of like how to do the paperwork properly, how to submit it, steep learning curve.
Deal with offer nights.
All of that stuff. So when you join the team, you have to have you have to be full-time, you have to be committed, hustling, and you have to want to, so there's not really like, I can't just say, okay, you check all the boxes, you can join the team. There has to be obviously you have to have that work ethic, but I have to have a good feeling about you. Yeah. And you have to, fit in.
It's good for us, right? Because we don't hire new agents, but we will through a team. Meaning, right. If we have new agents coming to us that, we put them through a bit of a process where we see something in them, we'll pass them on to people like yourself or Duncan or Heather and whatnot. Yeah. Just so that the team leads, they have the environment of the team support and help be mentored. Right.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, a lot of people that come into real estate, they come from various backgrounds, various professional careers that they've been in.
Yeah. It's usually a second career, right?
It usually is. Yeah. It's. But it's you have to be a hustler and a grinder, and if you want to be successful in this business, you have to be able to go after the business. Like, you're gonna be. Everyone is like super nice and can talk on the phone, and you can learn how to transact. But are you gonna go out and get that business? And that is the toughest thing in real estate in Toronto, is going after and finding those clients and talking to people.
Right. So tell me about your team and how they're utilizing the studio. What kind of content are they creating with the studio?
Yeah, so anywhere from like the younger guys are doing TikToks, Reels.
Doing the scissor dance?
I don't even know what that is.
Have you done the scissor yet?
No. So I have no idea what that is, actually.
I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to show you.
Okay. So Reels for Instagram, and then, spreading that across your whole platform. Is huge. I mean, put on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. We really like. And
really, LinkedIn. So tell me about LinkedIn and your use of LinkedIn.
Yeah, I mean, LinkedIn. It's more professionals, right? Yeah. It's not like obviously it depends on the type of content. We won't put like funny dances on LinkedIn, but if we're showing that value that we bring, how to buy a condo if you're a first-time home buyer, what it takes to sell a house, providing that type of value and putting that on LinkedIn where people are. I'd say like LinkedIn, people primarily are looking at when they're actually in the workplace, right? When they have that, when they're thinking about work,
they're thinking business. They're not looking for a scissor dance.
They're not looking. Yeah, they're not looking just to sort of like just get an outlet and flip through a feed and watch whatever. So I think it's an important platform, and I mean, you can also, when some of the leads that come through, you can see what they do. It sort of gives you a prerequisite as to who this person is. So yeah, LinkedIn's I think it's pretty valuable.
So running the team, there's obviously a huge commitment there. There's a lot of responsibility of people that are waiting for you to give some direction and provide resources. I know your wife has her own business as well.
Yep.
You just had a new baby, Lexi, and tell me about trying to navigate business for both you and your wife. How you guys are managing this.
Yeah, it's been.
How's your sleep?
You know what? She's great. She's a really good sleeper, which is awesome. Don't
jinx yourself.
I know, eh? Knock on wood. She's been great so far, and we have her in a routine, and that's big for us. Is put her into we feed her at the same time at night. We bathe her at the same time.
It has
to be a schedule. So we put her down. She's really good, sleeps. My wife will wake up with her maybe once or twice during the night, and I will get up in the morning with her around 6:30, and do my thing with her and play and have fun.
Is Lindsay back to work yet?
She is. Yeah. She runs her own business, right? Yeah. So just like I run my own business, there's no mat leave, there's no pat leave. Like we are there, and fortunately for Lindsay, she's working on a few deals right now, which is great. She's in mergers and acquisitions, which has been a great compliment to.
I heard murders and acquisitions.
Murders. Yeah, not murders.
I'm pretty sure you meant mergers.
She's in mergers and acquisitions, which has been a great compliment to both of our businesses. When she sometimes will have someone that will come through looking to sell their business, and there could be a property component. So I will step in and help her on the property side, and vice versa. Sometimes I meet people on the commercial side that are looking to, transact their commercial space, and they have a business as well. So it's been good. We've actually we've closed a few deals in the past, and she's really busy right now. So it's quite the balance. It's for us with Lexi, the newborn. So I will, right after this, I told you I got a hard stop and I got to race home and allow her to get to work. So we kind of do this juggling act at the moment.
Yeah, that's what you have to do, right?
Yeah.
Tell me about your plans for growth. What's your 5-year plan look like?
Yeah. So what we're looking at is just keeping the team. We have a really good core group of people, and if we're going to bring anyone else on, they really, really need to fit properly.
They need to be stars.
Right. But what I'm really trying to do is, trim the fat, cut the tail off, and just go hard and heavy with the people that I do have. We still look at bringing people on to our branch office. And again, there's sort of that, you're going to play on the Marlies, and we're going to see how you do, and you might get the call up. But it's not guaranteed. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of, it's in the past, it's, we kind of were just an open door, and we were just allowing anyone sort of to roll in. But
do they sit in on the 11:11 meetings?
Yes, they do. Yeah. So you still get the 11:11, you get the studio time, and you get the lead generation.
And they're starting to understand how the process works, how your team works.
Yeah, exactly.
Good.
That's been great. And I forgot the question.
5-year plan. What's your growth plans?
Yeah. So we're going very heavy into the video side. So we're really trying to push and really get in front of people and get in front of our customers and speak to them. I've only been in this business for 7 years. There's been people on my team that have been in the business a little bit longer, but I'd say we're still fairly new. Mm-hmm. We're a newer team, but we bring a lot of value to our clients through, staging is a big component to the business. It's something that I've actually started a staging company on the side. So we're providing staging because we know that there's huge value in staging a home, right?
Yeah, if you're not staging your listings, you're doing your client a disservice.
Yeah, it drives me nuts when I see, the cell phone shots, no staging of properties, and I'm like, how? Like, why would you do that? I don't know.
That's the uncles and the nephews and.
Yeah, exactly. Right. That's exactly that.
Yeah. Cool. And lastly, well, not lastly, but last big topic is influences and mentor. Who do you have any mentors? Have you used mentorship in your business? Who's been your biggest influence of other colleagues that you've watched in the industry?
Yeah, and I guess that's part of the reason why I wanted to join Berkshire. I wanted to, I know that there's some heavy hitters at this office in this brokerage, and that is the only way that I really learn is watching what others are doing. How did that person get to where they are? What are they doing? So I try to implement, pieces of that into my business, and that's part of the reason why I did start the team was, when I got into this, I had no idea what I was doing. I knew I could hustle and I could get out there and find the business, and I have a pretty good sphere of friends and family, but I did it all on my own. I didn't have anyone that was showing me the ropes and how to do things. So as I grow, I wanted to, I thought I could bring value to other people and they could, join my team. I could sort of help them through that big learning curve and show them collaboration as well is is a great thing. But, having the heavy hitters here like Paul Meska and Heather Haddon, they've been in the industry for a long time and they know what they're doing. So in terms of mentors, they might not even know that they're mentors to me, but I watch them and I see what they're doing. And
you don't necessarily have to even met your mentor, right? It's just people that you're watching and just looking at their practices and what they've what's worked, what hasn't worked.
Yeah. You're my mentor. I mean, I want to learn from you. I want to see how you grew, and just by watching.
Lots of punches.
There's a lot of punches. I know.
A lot of punches to be taken.
I know. Yeah. That's business, right? Nothing's easy, and everyone always sees
if it was easy, everybody be doing it.
Exactly. Everyone sees the glitz and glam, but they don't know what happens behind the closed doors.
Yeah, exactly. Lastly, last two questions. Top two neighborhoods in Toronto.
Yeah.
Which I probably know one of them already.
Yeah. Well, Queen West, that's where my office is located. I live just north of it. I'm hopefully eventually one day going to move closer to my office. But it's just such a great family-friendly, family-friendly neighborhood. There's cafes and restaurants and, go to Trinity Bellwoods Park, ride your bike around. Like, it's cozy, even though you're in the middle of the city, which can be, for other people that don't live in the city, they look at the city and go, wow, it's a scary place sometimes. But, it's a great neighborhood. And, I love being there.
Second.
It's a great question. I always really loved Roncesvalles, just because, close to Hyde Park, close to the beach at Sunnyside, close to that pool. Big, beautiful homes, family neighborhood.
Beautiful homes.
Okay. Yeah.
Especially on the west side of Roncy.
Yeah, exactly. Closer to Hyde Park. And then walk over to Roncesvalles and you have everything that you need, So I love that.
I'd like to see a few more restaurants in that area, but yeah.
Yeah. And I think my opinion on that has changed over the years, where when I was younger, I thought, Liberty Village was the cool spot, or King Street was the coolest spot.
Shit show.
Yeah. So it's definitely.
But if you're in that age and you're in that demographic, that's a place to be.
No, totally. I still work out.
It's fun.
I still work out in Liberty Village, just outside Liberty Village, and so we go through there all the time. And Queen West still has, a lot of young people. There's a lot of condos down in that demographic is still very young. So yeah, it's great, and I think that's why I like Queen West as well, because you go to the south side of Queen and a lot of condos, a lot of younger demographic. Yeah. You go to the north side and you have the houses, the homes, so you get that mixture of people and diversity, which is great.
I think Liberty is just it's so dense for that population, and it's just it is what it is, though. It's perfect for that age group,
and they keep building more.
Yeah. And top two favorite restaurants in the city.
Yeah. Honestly, when Batty Alley came out on Dover Court and Argyle, I loved it.
I have, this is embarrassing.
I can't believe
you
haven't
had slice yet. I haven't had slice yet. Every time I've gone there's a lineup, and I just can't do it. I don't wait in lines.
No, it's crazy. When you and I went there was no line.
My kids always, what's the ice cream shop on Ossington? Like.
Yeah, I forget.
I know what you're talking about. There, my kids are just screaming out the
I've
window,
never stood in that line,
and I just can't wait in line for an ice cream cone.
No. So yeah, Batty Alley, I would say, is got to be like the best pizza.
We'll get a 6-pack someday, and we'll go stand in the line.
Done.
Okay.
Done.
Second.
There's so many restaurants, Mark. Like, it's insane, and new ones pop up all the time. I wouldn't necessarily like. It would have to be somewhere that has really great service. Oh man, you stumped me. There's so many good spots.
Yeah, come up with
one. I would probably say Chubby's. Jamaican food on
I love those Jamaican wings.
Yeah. Really cool experience, good vibe. Yeah, I love Jamaican food.
That's awesome. Well, thanks for coming. I know you're on a tight schedule, so we'll get you out of here just in time. So
Perfect.
Lindsay doesn't get mad at you for being late, and as well as having a freezy.
She actually just called me. I think she saw me eating the freezy.
You take one for the road as well.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for coming on.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it.